Thank you, Andrew. Well, as you know, the gynaecologist said, it's great to see faces, isn't it? You know, probably introduce myself. My name's Alex Allett. I've lived on a farm in the Deniliquin district for 88 years, 2 months and 3 weeks. I've been married for 61 years, 8 months, 1 week, 6 days and 8 hours. And the best part of this thing is it's the same woman, and we're still sweethearts, so that's lovely. Yeah. And I do praise her up quite a bit, and she says, you shouldn't do that. She said, it makes me embarrassed, but I still do. And, you know, I ran into a chap the other day I hadn't seen for many years, and I said, you know, my wife is an angel. By Jove, he said, you are lucky. He said, mine's still alive. You know, when I wake up in the morning, I think, what a lucky man I am to have such a lovely wife. But then as the day goes on, I sort of look at it more objectively and think, well, she didn't do too bad herself. This is just a little poem written by a chap called Ken Davidson, and it's a bit about farming life, really. The old man sat on the tractor seat. There was dust in his hair and grease on his feet. And he said, this job has got me beat, this trying to make a quid. The pressure's down and the engine's hot. The tracks are loose and the gears are shot. But this old mongrel's all I got to help me make a quid. He turned down the bank with an awful roar and headed for the other side full bore. Opened all the taps as he hit the floor, trying to make a quid. Well, the scoop got hooked on a big white rock, and he cursed and he swore and he did his block. Opened the governor over the tasty stop, trying to make a quid. Well, she blew right up when the conrod broke, and the old man died in a cloud of smoke. And as he passed, he said, it ain't no joke, this trying to make a quid. But he was insured for 20 grand, which the company paid on his wife's command. And as she held that cheque in her hand, she said, well, at last, he's got a quid. You know, the chap took his wife to the doctor, and the doctor gave her a big examination, and he came back to the husband. He said, look, he said, I'm very sorry, he said, but I've got to put your wife in an institution. He said, she's completely lost her mind. Well, you know, the husband said, that doesn't surprise me. You know, she'd be giving me a piece of it every day for the last 30 years. And then there was these golfers out playing golf, and there were two men playing golf, and there were 2 women up ahead. And they were going very slow, you know, they're yakketing a fair bit, and the one fellow said, he said, I've better go up and see if those ladies will mind if we go past. So he got halfway up, turned around and come back. He said, I can't. He said, one's my wife and one's my mistress. So the other bloke said, I'll go up. So he went up and he got halfway up, turned around and come back too. He said, it's a small world, isn't it? And the lady picked up a boy from school, and it was raining, and it's a seedy area, and all the prostitutes were under the veranda out of the rain. And the little boy said to his mum, he said, what are all those women doing under the veranda? Oh, she said, darling, they're just waiting for their husbands to knock off from work. The taxi driver turned around and said, why don't you tell him the truth? He said, they're waiting there for men, and they'll pay them money, men will pay them money. Oh. The woman was very, very upset about it anyway. The little boy sort of thought for a bit, and he said, well, Mum, he said, what becomes of all the children? Oh, she said, they grow up to be taxi drivers. And they're all the people in church, and they're all chatting away, you know, before the minister arrives, and all of a sudden there was a bolt of lightning, and the devil appeared at the head of the church. Well, they panicked and knocked each other over to get out of the church, and anyway, all except one bloke, he just sat there. And the devil said, don't you know who I am? Yes, the fellow said, I do. Well, he said, aren't you frightened of me? He said, no. Well, he said, don't you understand? He said, if one stroke, he said, I could kill you. Yep, he said, I know. Well, he said, you're still not frightened? No. Well, he said, don't you worry, I could cause you purgatory for the rest of your life? Yep. And he's still not frightened? No. Well, why aren't you frightened? Well, he said, I've been married to your sister for 25 years.